talk. Let's sit on the stoop, child. Let's talk. This is thanks to Tyree Welsh and his cousin Sean Welsh. They are the creators of the music you're hearing. Okay. And then I have that fell off the chair. This is like my favorite chair. I don't even want to tell you how long I've had it. I've had others, but I gave them away because this chair knows my contour. And Tyree, he made this for me. Is Stay Fly Gear, honey. Tyree Welsh. He ain't send me no link or nothing like that. I knew him. I'm very good friends with his mother. Was that's another long story. But with him, he is so talented. So y'all go. It's called Stay Fly Gear. See, Stay Fly. He's a manufacturer. Now I know lawyers, my friends' children, none of them have doctors, thank goodness. And he's a manufacturer. So Tyree Stay Fly Gear, and him and his cousin Sean made this theme song for me. Yeah, come on the porch, sit on the stoop. We got a lot to talk about. First, I want to say to the community to remember, because I've been doing it, Martin is my transgender mother. So pay homage to, especially during June when you can. I'm telling you, this is what this is all about. This is what this show is all about. It's about me discovering at this age, just wondering why am I so connected to the community? Why? I mean, I wrote letters. I definitely supported gay marriages. Holiday Heart, Cry Like a Baby. Anything with transgender women. I even went to see that movie with Forrest Whitaker. I can't think of the name of it right now. All Like a Baby. And I couldn't understand why. Why am I doing this? What is this strong connection with the community? I, for some reason, remember when they say the gay pride parade. I remember when it was the Halloween parade down in the village, because I went down with Martin. But I'm talking back in the early 80s. So I was in my 20s, 21, 22. And then by about 27, I had left the area. And I lost contact with Martin. Last time I saw him, he looked a little sick. Remember, we was in the middle of the whole AIDS thing. I have to ask his forgiveness, but there's other things we have to talk about. And it was just a different time. So I forgot. Oh, I moved out of Bed-Stuy. I don't know that, but still. Even on my job, my best friend co-workers were from the community. We had a blast. Loved them. Learned a lot about being a woman from them. Yes. Cults don't teach you how to be a woman. Cults teach you how to be submissive to men. I came from one. When I met Martin, I was sitting there. He told me it was the greatest thing. She told me it was the greatest thing in the world to be a woman. And I looked at Martin and I said, really? I thought it was a curse. He said, girl. Girl. So we did a lot of things together. We talked girl stuff. And not girl stuff for sake of how men will look at us. But when Martin and I did makeup, well, he did makeup because I didn't know too much about it. But it was more so to fit how we look, to highlight how we look, more than so than with women. Women want to wear, when they put on makeup, they want to be pleasing to men. It doesn't matter how they feel about it. Will this attract men? Like, I guess because we're animals, like peacocks and stuff like that. You want to know if you're pleasing to men. But Martin wasn't like that. He taught me makeup and, highlight your cheeks to make your cheeks look good. When you look in the mirror, what you see. And no one had ever talked to me like that. But this transgender woman did. So I want to she's my transgender mom. I was looking at T.S. Medicine the other day, and every time I look at T.S. Medicine, I look, if she's home, I look and I see it in that video somewhere is a picture of T.S. Eve. It's a drawn picture that she got on the wall, and no matter where she's filming, T.S. Eve is there, giving the respect of the elders. Just because you ain't here, don't mean you've forgotten. And I think during Pride Month, and I'm doing it. I'm just finding out. I don't know. They make you forget it. It wasn't such a good thing to be connected with the community back in the 80s. It wasn't. So if you was, you started squishing it down. I know they talk about, oh, I have troubles being, in the gay community. But those who love people in the gay community, we take hits too. Anyway, I'm just so happy that I come through, and I remember Martin, and I remembered our time together, and I remember how he influenced me. And that all happened, I guess, them cults or something else. So, and then something came this week, like, y'all know I love T.S. Madison. Every time I look at her on YouTube, I break out in the biggest smile. She so loves being a woman that it makes me so happy. Don't ask. But all the time, I know these aren't trans, these are drag queens, but even during RuPaul Drag Race, happy. I don't know, just so happy. Even to show feminine ways, just so very happy. And they made me happy. But I couldn't connect where it was. How did this come about? And it was Martin. It was my transgender mother, Martin. So, something he put on my heart. He said, when you do your stories and you talk about me, first of all, every time I tried to do it at 4:30, it didn't work through. So I was like, okay, all right, okay. For Saturday at 7:30, perfect. And it's so Martin. It is so Martin, because if I'm talking about him, he want a flame. He want. I was hiding at 4:30. I was like, oh God, somebody's going to see me. Let me hide here at 4:30. Nobody will see me. And Martin said, no. And I'm doing this show because from watching, looking at T.S. Madison and her videos and her friends and T.S. Flame and T.S. Hope, even when she interviews Diamond and when she had the Supreme Speaker, the best time in the world was the Queen Supreme Court. But anyway, we've moved on from there. Okay. And I just get so happy about it because they're happy in being woman. And it ignites something in me. But here's the thing that I want to say again and again to help our African American community in dealing with a lot of situations as far as the community, as far as yourself. Now, it hit me last week and I wrote it down. And I said, men want men to take advantage of their male dominated society. That's why they don't like transgender. That's why they don't like it. Because they, in their minds, what do you mean? We're stepping on women. We're squashing women. We got our foot on their neck. We're getting rid of women. And how are you talking about? You know, you want to be a woman. They're offended. They made everything easy for men, according to them. Then I wrote, yeah, they can't understand why men would want to be oppressed. You say, oh, they're upset. They're mad because we want to be women. That they can't, their whole lives, the whole structure of these cults and everything that groomed us is the fact that the woman is on the bottom. They can't understand why you would want to be on the bottom with women when on the top is so much better, because they made it just like totally easy for you. Male dominated society. You know? So I just came on me and I'm like, please y'all stop. That's something that the other gays and other cultures, they're not so bound by that. But in our culture, it's also what divides us. We're still using religion as a division. You got to stop. They don't like anything feminine. They spend their whole time, trust me, I'm a woman, I know. I came from the cult, the Baptist cult in South Carolina. I didn't know that I was cursed until I got down there. I didn't know it. I didn't know I was. I came out the womb. My mother didn't make anything about me being a girl. No one else made anything about me being a girl. Before I went down south, I had a nice flow. No problems at all. I went down south and that Baptist cult, and they said, that flow is a curse. And a life of pain. Never had a menstrual cycle where I wasn't in severe pain. And they could understand it. And when I was, oh, and they said, yep, of course you cursed. I was like, oh man. So when I met Martin, he was like, and I was like, I'm learning, Martin. He was like, that's some crap. So anyway, but that's what they train us to do. So they can't understand why you would want to be. And I'm so proud because if I had not met Martin, I really can't tell you where my life would be as a woman. As far as loving myself, I credit Martin. These breasts that I got and this womb I still got, I credit Martin for having that because he set me down and he had a real serious talk. And he said men are so jealous of women's breasts and their ability to have children. You just don't know, Vicky. They wish they had it. And they don't. And they're jealous. And I never forgot that. And so when I looked around and all my friends either had one breast or half a womb, no womb, this, blah, blah, I was like, whoo, child. Jealousy. So That's what it is. So stop trying to get into these cults. They don't understand it. And if you get into them, they're going to talk crap about you. You're going to be sitting in the congregation because they used to do it to us. You would sit in the congregation and they would say, you know, you young girls out here is loose. Just open your legs up for anybody. And then they run around the church raping us. So you would sit there and you would feel bad. And I used to listen to T.S. Madison all the time. I'd say, they would say, you know, that the gays are the devil and the gays. They used to say that about women. I would sit in church and hear that. And honey, they loved the stress Mary Magdalene was a hoe. And Mary sleeping with gods, having baby while her husband laying right next to her. I used to hate those stories. When Christmas came around, I had different feelings, but I had to make myself because that's not the way the cult goes. But really? So that's why I just want y'all to stop stressing to use this Pride Month to say, listen, either start your own religion. Because in America, you can start cults. This is the land of a million cults. That's the problem. But if you need that collective higher power type thing, then do it where transgender and the community is uplifted. Uplifted. That's how you do it. Don't go and try to kicking down doors trying to get into a religion that suppresses women and any type of feminine anything. I told you, every time I heard this Madison saying, and she put on the video and it was screaming, and gays, and gays. I used to have to sit there and hear them talk about women like that. Running around here, open your legs up to anything, making all these babies. I was like, don't the man got something to do with making the babies too? No, child. It was us. It was us running around, open up our legs. Men wouldn't even do anything if it wasn't for us. Even their breasts. Our breast was a curse because it enticed them. And that's why I had to be in those bolted up Playtex bras where nothing moved and girdles. So I wish the African American community would just really stop it. Stop it. You're holding yourself back. You're stopping yourself from advancing. You're stopping yourself from going into other communities and mixed race. And there's Indian LGBTQ. There's all this kind of LGBT, and you could all mix in. But as far as African Americans is concerned, y'all just want Jesus. Y'all just want God. And if the other gay people ain't for Jesus, you ain't for them. Really? 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 If they're not for a group that don't want you, you ain't for them. Make it make sense. And I hear them too. They ain't Christian. Like how we used to be, and they ain't holiness, and this is in the gay community. You separating yourself because how? Really? The community, you're saying that the church that don't want you, that you're trying to get into, but they don't want you because they don't like women. And you are not going to be oppressed. It's just not in your nature. It's not in your birth thing. Though you may be transgender, you ain't weak. And I'm strong because I had a transgender mother. Okay? I had a transgender mother. And she was all woman, but she didn't take no mess. She walked around with her switchblade. And I had my little rays in my bag too. Why? Because she told me I need to have one because I'm a woman. I need to protect myself. I've been in many relationships with men, and no man has ever told me to carry a razor to protect myself. They're never going to tell you. Because if you have that razor, you'll protect yourself from them. And that's not what they want. So you see what I'm saying? I just wish we use this June Pride to tap into our transgender or community mothers and fathers that have passed, or even send out some good vibes to those who are still here going through the fight. And I really want y'all to stop trying to get, especially the African American community, stop it. Stop it. Don't stop letting these cults that don't want you. That don't want you. But if the other gays or the other community members aren't that in that cult that you can't get into, then you don't like them. Make it make sense. You want a cult religion? I said go with RuPaul. Because RuPaul says, oh my God, I can't think of that saying now. I looked at it for years on Drag Race. If you don't love yourself, how you gonna love anybody else? That join that. The Church of RuPaul. Guess what in the Church of RuPaul we do? We lift up the community. We lift up. We don't break it down by the cults of this, the cults of this. No. We just lift up the community. And if you go after women, you coming after us. And we all got to stand united. And as I have been telling women, that they don't listen, I tell you now, if you know you're in a cult, and definitely a bad one, when all the teachings are about how bad women are. There's a mega church in Texas. No wonder they can't do it, the whole abortion thing. Mega church. First of all, you got the FLDS down in Texas. Woo-hoo. Then you got a mega church. I think too, ain't Joel over in Texas too? Ooh, child, that's a cult state. And this is how his church grew to the amount of people it has, because he wrote a book that said, woman, thou art loose. And every woman agreed. Made that man a millionaire. He said, you don't know how to do this, and this is what's wrong with you. And women ate it up. So you know he ain't never said nothing new about gays, because in the community, he thinks of the community the same thing. Same way he think of women. I wish y'all would get it together so y'all can take care of that kind of talk, because that's the kind of talk that does separatism. This woman, every Sunday you preach. They made the society so that men can have it easy peasy bowl of easy. And they don't understand why the community, LGBTQ community, can't take that ride. Don't other than the which lesbians, ain't nobody else getting down for the get down. They don't understand it. So I just want y'all to know that. That's the reason why. Why does a man walk up to you if you're gay or if you switch and this guy is supposed to be straight and you don't know why he looks at you and he's so angry and he wants to fight you, or they got that you call it homophobic, but it's not. You just don't see the many times that they have walked up to women and punched them in the face and dragged them by the hair. And if you want to know how good you are, it says, how good you are at being a woman or showing our feminine tendencies, be around a man. He'll punch you, but he'll rape us. And probably punch us too. Rip our clothes off. When we show we're a woman and we swim, spin, and we twirl our hair and we shake it, chances are. So if you're doing the same thing out there, that's what these men are reacting to, because they made this whole society where it's male dominated, and they don't understand why you would want to be oppressed like women. And they oppress you like women when in their heads they say, oh, she's acting like a woman. They don't get it. I think that's why they call them knuckle draggers. Anyway, where's my last thing? Yes, honor to the LGBTQ mothers and fathers that opened doors and taught us. And that was my Miss Martin. She taught me to be proud to be a woman. And I stood by her, and it was just amazing. And then I met Beverly, taking the B13 bus from Terrytown into Port Chester, and just happy to be a woman, taking all kind of abuse, men saying everything. But I was like, they say all kind of stuff to us too. And ain't nobody stopping them. No one stops them. Like you ain't getting rid of assault rifles. It's an extension of a man's penis. They are never going to outlaw their penises extensions. They're not going to do it. They don't care how many schools get shot up. They don't care how many kids die. They don't care. It'll have to take a greater force than just women trying to save their babies to get rid of these assault rifles. That's why if the community got on the right footing, we could all work together, especially with women now, and save the children and save ourselves, because these men ain't gonna do it. They love AR rifles. They love it instantly when they feel it. If they have a 6-inch penis, it's extended to 8. They ain't gonna get rid of that. That's a penis extender. But if we all got together as women in the LGBTQ community and we stood together and we went around getting rid of those penis extensions and outlawing penis extensions and throwing the folks in jail that need penis extensions, then we can save our kids. But here's what I'm doing for moving on. Here's the play. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my goodness. I saved this on my Facebook. Let me look this up for you. You're gonna love this. I wrote this play. It's called Cyma Versa. I'm not gonna tell you the history of the title or anything like that because, I mean, I'm putting it on my page and it's copyright 1993 by me, but you know, you never know. So here we go. I wanted to do a timeline for the community. What was happening in 1993 in the community? 1993, LGBT rights. In 1993, there were 8 record legal changes made affecting LGBT people. In the previous years, there were 54 changes made and 40 in the following year. A total of 319 legal changes were made in the 1990s. December 21st, I may not get to all of them, but I'm trying to time this just right. I don't want to stay longer than an hour. I start losing my voice. Serving openly in the military became Don't Ask, Don't Tell. You remember that. Don't Ask, Don't Tell was historic compromise signed by President Bill Clinton. I remember it like it was yesterday. But authorized by Bill Clinton, authorizing people who are LGBTQ to serve in the military provided they didn't disclose sexuality. The law also removed the ability for others in the military from asking for a service member's orientation. I remember that. I don't think a lot of the community was happy with it. I really don't think so. October 31st. LGBT, because they don't throw the Q back those days. LGBT discrimination becomes no protection. Even though the Constitution states that people should not be discriminated due to any reason, there are no specific provisions for sexual orientation or gender identification. It was the same way with us, African American. It's there in the Constitution, but it's a whole cult. Whole cult society that says, no, you're going to hell if you're black. Remember, because as African Americans, we is the cursed children of Ham. Ham saw Noah from the ark thing drunk and naked. And some girls was there. And then Noah looked at Ham and said, because you saw me drunk and naked, you are cursed and all your children is cursed. So you see, that's why they put in these, though the Constitution says that to everybody, race, creed, color, no. The cults say we don't accept that. There's a book that says black people are of the devil and gays are, okay, so here we go. June. And okay, that was in Peru. It's giving me different states. Okay, in the United States and Peru. Okay, in Lithuania, homosexuality after became legal. They were modern. Ireland, serving openly in the military becomes NA, non-applicable. The Irish Army changed the policy in 1993. In In Guinea, same-sex marriages became unrecognized. The Civil Code defines marriages as a union of people with opposite sex. Wow. Minnesota, the United States, 1993. LGBT employment discrimination becomes sexual orientation and gender identity. Language protects based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Religious exemptions apply. I don't know what that means. LGBT housing discrimination becomes sexual orientation and gender identity. Discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity is illegal. Religious exemptions apply. Additionally, the Human Rights Campaign states the Department of Housing and Urban Development requires guarantees and participates in HUD programs to comply with local and states' non-discrimination laws that include sexual orientation and gender identity. HUD also prohibits inquiries regarding the sexual orientation and gender identity of a prospective tenant or applicant for assisted housing in every state. Wow. Here goes another one. Minnesota again, LGBTQ discrimination becomes illegal. Language specifically protects on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. Exception exists for religiously affiliated operated organization. See, they did the same thing with us, and it's the government had to come in and make the states do it because the states are run by cults. It was the same way with us. The Constitution says you're born here, you vote, you have all the rights and privileges, and they said no. They're not really human beings. They're cattle. No, they're not cattle. They're only they're only 1/4 of a quarter of a human being. Anything to skirt around the Constitution, and that's what those cults do. So that's a little bit of what happened back down. And it said LGBT organizations founded in 1993, gay and lesbian public action and support groups organized in May 1993 to focus on grassroots organizing for action and support of or to defeat legislation to endorse candidates who support basic civil and human rights. Wow, that's in the United States. Wow. I'll find more and more as we go through, but the climate was in 1993. We were in fully there in the AIDS epidemic. Fully there. Yep. Fully there. Anyway, so Cyma Versa. Now, let me tell you what Cyma Versa is about. Cyma Versa is a comedic cabaret-style play about an African-American lesbian couple and their daughter's pending marriage that I wrote in 1993. So I'm going to read to you. I have, let me see, how much time do I have? Hold on, y'all, I gotta clean my eye. Okay, I got like 20 minutes, and we won't probably even need that much. Cyma Versa, written by me in 1993. I gotta get comfortable. One-act play. Characters. Now, my language, before I start, my language in this play comes from 1993. If I were to redo it today, my language and pronouns and a lot of other things would be different. But as you see, in 1993, we was dealing with don't ask, don't tell, a lot of community issues. So here we go. Bernice Frank. Bernie. She's the main character. She's a 47-year-old divorced single parent, butch. She has a strong Bronx accent and is very masculine. She works in men's denim overalls. At home, she dresses in women's pants and men's shirt and shoes. Because she is a lesbian, she acts overly masculine. Now, I want to tell you something. I'll go to the next, but when I wrote this, I don't know where it came from. It just came. I was in SUNY, and they basically said, "You write," and then for some reason, the community came to my mind. Maybe it was the Martin in me coming out. Rose McCrae. That's the next character. Rose McCrae. She is a 45-year-old single exotic dancer, femme. She speaks with a southern drawl. At home, she wears spandex pants and tops and 2-inch heels, like Peggy Bundy. You know what I'm talking about. Because she's a lesbian, she overcompensates for her femininity. Don't attack me. I wrote this in 1993. The next character is Cyma Brown. Her name is Tulip. She is a 22-year-old college senior. We would call her a Buppy. A black, I don't know, something American princess, but anyway, Buppy. It worked back in 1993. Okay, Jeffrey McCrae is Cyma's fiance. He is a 25-year-old Buppy, like Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Then you have Sister Betty McCrae, which is the mother-in-law, and she's a 46-year-old overweight housewife. Then you have Lucy Love. Lucy Love is a 22-year-old housekeeper for Bernice and Rose. She's petite and wears sexily made uniforms and spike heels. She speaks in a deep man's voice. Because she's a lesbian, she overcompensates for her femininity. Listen, I just wrote it. Like I said, if I had to write it again, it would be over. Here's the setting. When the curtain comes up, this is what you're going to see. Stage right is a door, mirror. Mirrors hang on both sides of it. A coat hanger stands near one of the mirrors to the side, the closet door. Center stage is a dark stone wall living room. Excuse me. Furnished with a couch with 2-inch chairs and a table. With 2-inch chairs and a table. A cocktail table sits positioned vertically in the middle. On top of the cocktail table is a vagina ceramic cigar holder with a hole in the middle. 2 breast-shaped paperweights sit on top of erotic magazines. The lamps are breast-shaped with shades adorned with naked women. The fireplace faces the audience. A picture of 2 women embracing one another hangs over it. On the mantelpiece sits a very large ceramic sculpture of brown breasts. Standing on both sides of the fireplace are shapes of naked women carved into wood. To the left of the fireplace, a set of stairs leading to the upstairs bedroom. Oh, please like, comment, share, tell a friend, tell a friend. Stage left is a dining room table and 6 chairs. In the middle of the table is an exquisite vase with water-based print of naked women filled with beautiful flowers. On both sides of the vase are vagina, salt, and pepper shakers. To the left is a counter with a sliding partition that opens into the kitchen. It worked. My director staged it. My director at that time was Mariana Loosemore. Yes, she did all my plays. And she came up, she was a professor emeritus from Harvard. She was at the Henry Street Settlement. I was so surprised when I asked her if she would direct if I took the play and moved it. And she said yes. And we were together for 6 years. Okay. Act 1. Scene 1. Lights come up in the apartment of Bernice Frank, aka Bernie, and Rose Delacroix. Rose is stretched out on the couch with her frilly nightgown draped carefully over the back of the couch. Sound. A key turning in the lock. Rose places her arm across her forehead. Bernie Frank enters. Bernie, you're late for work. Rose, can't you see I'm sick? Bernie wearily sits down in the end chair. Rose, this morning I went to shave and, well, Bernie, what? What is it tonight? Rose, you're a brute. Bernie, thank you. Rose throws a pillow at Bernie. She catches it. Bernie, I'm sorry. Bernie lifts Rose's legs and sits beside her. Bernie, tell your sweet daddy what's wrong. Rose, well, this morning when I'm going bald. Bernie, maybe you have a receding hairline. Rose sits up. Not my head, stupid. She points to her vagina. Down there. Bernie pushes Rose's legs away, stands, and walks over to the fireplace. Bernie picks up a small stone carved into the shape of a Buddha. She rubs the top of its head with the palm of her hand and replaces it on the mantle. Bernie, I'm 47 years old, add a few thousand, and my debts and my age are the same. And you want me to feel sorry for you because you're bald down there? Rose jumps up. Rose, I said I'm going bald. She falls onto the end chair. No one wants a bald stripper. Bernie, what's the big deal? When you had hair, you shaved it off. Excuse me. Rose, now I have nothing to shave. A beat. Anyway, what do you care if I'm fat and ugly? Bernie, you're not ugly. Rose cries. Bernie kneels before her. Rose, if you don't go to work, you won't get paid. We need the money. A beat. I'll have Lucy bring you some tea. She calls. Lucy, bring Rose some tea. To Rose, pull yourself together. Let me try some. I bought some mango juice to help me. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Rose jumps up. I said I'm going to vote. Okay. Rose cries, but Bernie, Rose, if you don't go to work, you won't get paid. We need the money. I'll have Lucy bring you some tea. Bernie, she calls. Lucy, bring Rose some tea. To Rose, she says, pull yourself together. Rose, I saw that woman in your store again. Bernie sits on the couch. Bernie to Rose, what woman? Rose, the one with the million braids. Oh, her? She likes my equipment. Rose looks at her with contempt. Bernie, the plumbing equipment, the plumbing equipment that I got stocked up to the ceiling. I didn't make a single sale today. Rose walks across the room and collapses in another chair. Lucy enters carrying a tray with silver tea set, 2 cups, and a bowl of chocolates on it. She places it on the table and pours a cup. Lucy, are you feeling better, mistress? Rose, yes, love. Thank you. Rose takes the cup. Bernie, you're not paid to Bernie to Lucy. You're not paid to stand there. Get my dinner. Lucy rolls her eyes at Bernie and leaves. Rose sips her tea. Bernie, if you don't get yourself together, the first cutback will be your precious maid. Rose, all right, you win. Bernie walks over to her. No, I lose. I have to share your beautiful body with all those people. That's a loss for me. Rose, really? Bernie, yeah, right. She picks up a magazine from the cocktail table and leans back on the couch. Hurry up before I get mad. To Rose, hurry up before I get mad. Rose kisses her and rubs her face. We're talking about Bernie. Rose, 5 o'clock shadow. Bernie pats her hand. Bernie, get dressed. Rose floats upstairs. Lucy enters the dining room and sets the table for one. Bernie watches her. Bernie, get Rose's things ready. Lucy stops and walks to the closet door. Rose stands at the top of the stairs in a pose. Rose, she clears her throat. Bernie and Lucy look at her. Rose, so? Bernie looks at her watch. Hurry up! Rose stomps down the stairs and flops in the chair. Rose, go to hell. To hell with you. Bernie to Lucy. Get the mistress things ready. To Rose. You're going to make me hurt you. Rose, do it. Bernie walks over to Rose. Bernie sneezes and wipes her nose with her sleeve. Hold on. Wait a minute. And wipes her nose with her sleeve. That's so, Rose, that's so nasty. Use a handkerchief. Bernie, Jesus, you smell like a whorehouse. Bernie removes an overused handkerchief from her pocket and blows her nose. She replaces the handkerchief. Rose, love, please take the master's handkerchief to the washroom. Lucy goes into the kitchen and returns with a pair of thongs. Bernie holds out the handkerchief. Lucy takes it with the thongs and exits. Bernie, hurry up. God, you're such a stupid bitch. Rose stands and slaps Bernie. Bernie twists Rose's wrist. Bernie, okay, I'll give you what you want. Lights fade. This is the cabaret part. This is Bernie. I had to get married. Mama always said I looked too much like a man to be single. I think that's why Mama got married. We look just alike. I always like fixing things and can fix any plumbing problem in America. She winks. Always could. I was married for a year, I think, and I had a kid that I'm sure of. Ralph, my ex-husband was kind of loving. I had to make all the decisions. You could say I was the husband and wife of the family. We were married for 3 months before I could stand to give him some, and I got pregnant and divorced. From as early as I can remember, I always liked women, not girls. I like to look at their breasts. I would be bad in school just so the teacher would keep me after school to talk about my behavior. I would look into her breasts, I mean her eyes. She would be speaking, and I would look at her red, juicy lips moving. And well, let's just say when she wore a low cut dress, I would do anything to have to stay after school. Anyway, I met Rose right after my divorce, and I was hanging out in the strip joint one night. Rose kept winking in my direction, so I looked behind to see who it was. It was me. This beautiful creature was winking at me. She was winking at the ugly, mixed up hormone freak. She was the first and only woman in my life, and I love her. She smiles. I am a father to my daughter. That way, she's able to marry a man. Rose and me made sure she lived in a functional household. We took time out for her. Rose and I love each other, and we love to mail. Scene 2. I gotta look at the time. Oh, we got 5 minutes. Scene 2. Lights come up. Well, lights come up. Later that evening, okay, lights come up on the stage as Bernie enters from the stairs later that evening. She unbuttons the top of her shirt to expose the hair on her chest. Bernie, she calls. Lucy! Lucy enters wearing a thong and a heart-shaped apron that covers the tips of her breasts. She poses for Bernie. Bernie stands at the mirror, brushes off her blazer while admiring herself. You see, my gender pronoun issues, we didn't have the pronoun. I would be saying he, but anyway, I wrote it. I'm reading it as I wrote it. Lucy, you know you like it. I have the same body as Rose. I can do everything Rose does. Bernie, you can cook. Rose can't cook. Lucy rolls her eyes at Bernie and exits. Bernie walks around, turning down lights, and puts on some soft music. Lucy enters the living room carrying an ice bucket, wine, and glasses. She puts it on the cocktail table. Bernie, not looking at Lucy, take that other tray back to the kitchen. Bernie looks at her. Bernie, Lucy, take Rose's pearl necklace off, or I'll tell her you're wearing her jewelry. Lucy, and I'll tell her that you have intimate dinner with other women while she's at work. Bernie, you're off the rest of the evening. Get out of here. Lucy rolls her eyes at Bernie and exits. Sound. Doorbell. Okay. We are going to... we're going to stop here because... Oh, that is the last page. Okay. Doorbell. Yes. Bernie walks to the door. Before opening it, she removes the stone-shaped Buddha and rubs the top of his head with her palm. She puts the Buddha back in her pocket. Bernie, come in. Tamaya enters carrying an overnight bag. They hug. Bernie, girl, you look good. Tamaya puts down her bag. They sit in the living room. Bernie, how about a drink? Hey, I timed it just right. Whew. I may have to come up another evening. I think I'd like doing evenings. It is so much easier than trying to do 4:30. Please like, comment, share, y'all. Please like, comment, share. Tell a friend, tell an auntie, tell an uncle, tell a cousin. And that I also walk on this channel every morning. But you know what? Pride. I only got Pride Month, 4 weeks. I got 2 plays, one. I think I'll be able to do it. I won't give so much background information on the year. I'll just ask you to look at the previous video. So that's it. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really enjoyed that, and I'm so glad I got these plays out the file cabinet, and I'm going on record. I'm putting them on record, and that was the first 2 scenes. The first scene, going into the second scene of Cyma Versa. And y'all like, comment, share. Tell a friend, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell everybody. And I want to thank you. And hey, stay fly gear. Tyree. Don't forget, pour a little libation for you, the one LGBT community that walked before us. Somebody fought for those laws before y'all did. Show a little respect, especially at Pride Month. Like, comment, share. Please subscribe. Thank you, and see you next week.